MyIndMedia, the voice of India. MyIndMedia, the voice of India.
మైండ్ మీడియా ద వాయిస్ ఆఫ్ ఇండియా, ఇది భారతీయ స్వరం.
All right, welcome to TechieTalk, welcome to MyIndMedia. I am here with
Tim Wong.
Tim, you are...
I run technical marketing for autonomous vehicles here at
Autonomous
nVidia.
vehicle. So we do a radio show in Telugu language, in Indian language,
Okay.
online. It's on technology. We have few questions, and one of the listener who listens, I think he must be some researcher doing autonomous. So the question he asked is, these autonomous technologies, right? They train with the neural networks.
Yes.
Are you training them in an environment where there are no driving rules? Driving rules are not strict. Like for example,
Correct,
here
correct.
you have the stop signs, you have yield.
Yes, yes.
So let's say you go to India or someplace else, or maybe in
Yes.
Africa, there is no driving
That's right.
rule, driving
Correct.
signals. How do you?
So, a couple of things. That driving rules are part of it, but even in the U.S., people don't follow the rules.
Yeah, I mean people don't follow most
And
of the time.
so what we do is we have the neural networks that are doing object detection, detection of the cars, detection of people, detection of animals, but more importantly, it's not so much where they are now. There's a predictive detection where I know where they're going to be in the next few seconds. And then I know where I'm going to be in the next few seconds because I know my steering, my gas and throttle input. And I can figure out, irregardless of the driving rules, is there going to be a problem, right? If someone's walking and it doesn't matter, there's no crosswalk, and I'm coming, the car can figure out is there's an issue.
Yeah.
So the system really is, driving rules are useful, and so like if I'm on a freeway and I don't know the speed limit, the car will go the speed limit. But like you said, there are a lot of places in the world where people don't follow the rules. It's total chaos.
So there is...
The autonomous car has to be able to drive in that situation, and the platform we provide to our customers has all these building blocks so that you can understand where everything is, where everything's going to be, where you're going to be, and kind of figure out the best path. So that's actually part of the path planning algorithm.
So it learns.
It learns.
That means you probably have... Okay.
Yes, no. So it knows how to keep you safe. So it's not going to let you do something disastrous. And yes, it will learn over time, and basically you're going to take
the more data.
Yeah, maybe it learns several times, it goes through a path that's very inefficient.
Right.
So then someone reviews that data and says, okay, there's a better path, and they retrain the network to do something better. But path planning is part of deep learning that we do. We give companies building blocks. They can choose to make it an aggressive network, unaggressive. I mean, that's the other thing.
So there's aggressive...
Right, you can have different personalities. How close do you want to make it through the traffic or through the congestion, or do you want to let people in and be polite and maybe not get there as fast?
Safer approach.
But those are, because we're an open platform, those are things our customers can decide on.
That's exactly my next question.
Okay.
The question that I have is like, are there any platforms where people outside nVidia can contribute?
Absolutely. So we make building blocks, we make a development platform for autonomous vehicles. By no means are we trying to make our own autonomous vehicle or make a production quality car. What I expect all our customers to do, and we work with universities, we work with research projects, is they just build on it, and I see an ecosystem where they're sharing things that work well.
So there is a platform.
There is a platform,
That they can contribute.
and then you can contribute to it. Absolutely. And then
is there a project name or something?
Well, no, it's on our developer forum. So if you go to developer.nvidia.com,
nvidia.com, they can just
and then
reach out.
/drive, and that's all our development. That's our NVIDIA Drive development community.
And finally, this is my own question,
Okay.
because the rules are different in India, I think Japan.
There are no rules in India.
I mean, rules are different.
I'm teasing you.
I know that you have to think like, you have to yield or stop. It's up to you.
Yeah.
Okay, you can yield, you can stop.
Yeah.
But then how do you simulate that? Like, if you see all these videos on social media, or maybe you see a video from the stop sign,
Yeah.
like stoplight,
Yeah.
the cars come like right at each other, and magically they just evade.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
So we have tools again that can simulate the world. That basically we started with a highway, and then we can add time of day, weather, potholes. I can add in other cars. I can add in
Potholes
people.
too?
Yeah. And so
Potholes.
yeah.
Wow. Okay, but
and so
do
the whole
you
point is
add
that-
something like potholes and water, like
Yeah.
2 feet water? Because that's what happens in the city that I come
right,
from.
that's right.
We have like water flooding.
It's not ready now, but that's our plan. Our plan is to have an actual world that is accurate to the real world, that you can basically do these test scenarios. Because one of the things that is problematic for testing on autonomous vehicle is if you do physical cars,
Right.
you're limited to whatever roads and however many cars you have.
You probably cannot test all the conditions.
That's right. But in sim, when we use our DGX supercomputer, I can do 60,000 miles of testing in 1 hour, every road in the U.S. in a day. That's the kind of, so being able to do every road in the U.S. in different times of day, different weathers, potholes, water on the road,
Water on the
snow,
road.
leaves on the road. I
We
mean,
don't have snow in India, but
But you have leaves, so you can have leaves.
yeah, leaves in
Or-
the
or
northern
dust or
part.
gravel.
Dust
Yeah.
is there.
Because you have dust storms, you have to have all that, and the car has to be able to handle all that. So being able to do sim, throw all these things to the car, reproducible tests so that developers can fine-tune the networks, figure out what works, what doesn't
What
work,
works.
what do they have to do more work on.
So when you test, do you test okay, this is for India, this is for China, this is
So
for
I
different
don't-
patterns?
So
Like a rules driven
Yeah.
based on the geography, country.
So we see some of that. As you know, if you drive in the UK or Japan, it's on the other side of the
Yeah,
road.
and India
So-
too.
India
We
too.
are on the other side.
So in the end, there are definitely algorithms that need to be tuned for different driving behaviors, but we basically release a platform and people build on top of it. So I'm not the one who says,
Okay,
do this or do this.
so-
This is
Gotcha.
what the customers, a local India
Crowdsource.
car company is going to decide to do that, right? But
Okay, that answers.
yeah.
I have one question.
Sure.
Is there any special algorithm to recognize animals like
Animals.
Absolutely. So, and what's interesting is, neural networks, are basically data-driven networks. So I give it lots of examples of animals. Eventually, it figures it out. But where the physics get interesting is that if the animals pointed away from the road, then
Right.
chances are they're not going to turn around and run into the road.
They won't
so,
be.
So you actually can train the neural network to be very intelligent about what it decides is a threat. If it's facing the road or facing along the road, then of course
That
it's more
means
of a
you
threat.
have some sort of a facial recognition for animal too.
They do orientation, yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
They
okay,
understand
yeah.
orientation of the animal.
Is it coming in?
But the other one that's interesting is, each car maker is going to make this decision, but at what point do you crush the animal versus, go around it, right? Because if it's a small animal, maybe I don't, and so yeah, what is the threshold? And that's their decision, but they can make that decision. So there's, and knowing animal orientation, knowing
So how many
animal-
scenarios like this? You have thousands of this?
Well, no, but that's the beautiful thing
Because
about
that's that many things that the brain actually
Yeah, but-
thinks all the time when you drive.
Right, that's right. And your brain is a great recognition engine. If I show you, if you just see that, you know it's a phone. You might
Yeah.
even know it's a Samsung phone.
Right.
You don't need to see the rest of the phone.
I
Right?
don't need to see the rest of it.
So same thing with, if you see just the top head of an animal, right?
That's
And
enough.
that's enough to know, okay, maybe I should slow down. I don't know what's going to do.
Unless somebody fakes it.
But the better thing about a neural network is that in my car, I've got sensors and I'm paying attention all directions all the time. Humans, you have two eyes, and it's whatever you happen to be paying attention to. We actually are terrible at paying attention. We look at our phone, change the media.
We need
change
to
our
train the
climate
mind.
zone. Yeah,
Pay attention.
exactly.
Yoga.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
But the point is that for animal detection, you can definitely train the network. That would be part of your object detection network. You can actually decide on orientation to decide, when it's a threat and when it's not, and then you can set a threshold for size of animal. So absolutely.
Thank you. Yeah, that's
Okay.
all we have.
Okay,
Thank you
great.
for giving time for TechieTalk.
Okay.
MyIndMedia. Yep. Thanks, Tim.
MyIndMedia, the voice of India. MyIndMedia, the voice of India.
మైండ్ మీడియా ద వాయిస్ ఆఫ్ ఇండియా ఇది భారతీయ స్వరం.